Hello, welcome to R&B Reviews. I'm Rob.
And I'm Dave, sitting in again.
And we're going to review the recently released on DVD movie, Valkyrie, starring Tom Cruise, that came out last year. The movie did moderately well at the box office here in the U.S., and now that it's out on DVD, it's done a little bit better. So we're going to go ahead and talk it over. So Dave, all right, are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, now the movie takes place... it's based on actual events, and it's about Colonel von Stauffenberg and how he and a group of German conspirators tried to, in an attempt to create a plot to try and assassinate Hitler. I thought the film was very uneven. Like the first hour, I felt like I was just sitting there taking it all in, like watching a history class. But then after the first hour went, I really got into the picture. Finally, I felt really connected to the characters.
It was like watching History Channel for the first half, and then the second half, it started to be more like a movie. Yeah, especially at the end. I actually believed the characters. I actually started to believe Cruise. You really feel more invested into it. So, Dave, what are your thoughts on the film? What did you like about it? I thought the costumes were real authentic. Compared to most World War II movies I've seen, like Enemy at the Gates, some movies I've seen, they just like throw the uniforms together. It's just like button-down shirts with patches on them. This one looked like authentic, like they took actual uniforms from the war and they just reused them.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think everything looked very good, like the costumes, even the settings, it looked very realistic.
The sets looked like they could have been like the actual places, especially the Wolf's Den, the bunker, Hitler's bunker, and the Chancellor House. They looked exactly like the real one.
You could definitely tell that the filmmakers put a lot of effort into the look, and I also liked the music. It wasn't distracting, and it almost complemented the scenes very well. The acting is probably what I had some of the problems with. I think the supporting acting by the cast, like Terrence Stamp and Kenneth Branagh, and even Eddie Izzard, who's a comedian, he's cast as a communications officer, and I think he really did a good job. I think he put more of an effort into his acting than at times Cruise.
Tom Cruise is supposed to be the star of the whole movie, and some of the other actors really took it away from him. It was almost like the other actors were like spoon-feeding him his lines, and he was playing off them, but until probably like the second half, near the end of the movie, then he really got believable.
To me, he felt very one-note almost the entire movie, and I felt like he didn't have the charisma that was required for a part like this. Sometimes the supporting actors often outdid him in many scenes.
Yeah.
There's only like a few scenes I can think of where Tom Cruise, I thought, really brought it. Like there's one where the first attempt to kill Hitler failed, and he's getting flack from his fellow conspirators for that. And then there's a scene where Cruise is on the phone talking to one of his fellow conspirators after the bomb went off because he didn't do what he was supposed to do right. That was real great emotion, but the rest of the time I thought he was very one-note. I think if they had cast someone, stronger and put a little bit more emotional into it, but the problem with it is, unless you forgot what happened during your history class in school, you know how this is going to turn out. There's no suspense. But
or the scene like before they go into the meeting, and then he's like supposedly changing clothes, but they're getting the bomb ready and all that.
Oh yeah, that was very tense. Overall, I don't know about you, I think the movie was a little bit uneven at times. I'm going to go ahead and say rent it on DVD. I think the movie's okay, but I think the story is something that needs to be shared with, and obviously Cruise must have seen something in it, otherwise he wouldn't have made this project at United Artists, which is where what he's running that now. But I think it's an okay movie. It had potential. There were some good things to like about it, like the supporting acting and the authenticity of it all. But I felt like it could have been much more.
Yeah, they could have done much more. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say rent it also.
Okay, so that's this edition of R&B Reviews. If you want to leave any feedback or comments, then feel free to do so. I'm Rob.
And I'm Dave.
We'll see you on the next edition of R&B Reviews.